I don't understand. I just don't get it. You get completely screwed, but don't say anything about it. You don't want to be labeled a troublemaker. Hi guys, talking about Knights Beach Resort down in Dunnville again. So you'd rather they get tens of thousands of your dollars, screw you over, but don't complain about it. That way you don't get labeled. And somehow that makes you feel better. Okay, so let's go back. We're talking about the storms in the fall of 2019. So let's say you own a trailer down at Knights Beach. Your trailer is located on a financially premium lot down by the water. And so now we have one of two scenarios. In the first scenario, you've owned the trailer for quite some time. Say more than 6 or 7 years, maybe even 10 or 20 years. In that time you've broken all the rules. But you haven't really, because at that time there were no rules. They didn't start the whole rule thing until the Haldeman Building Department got after them. And a lot of people at the park think that the building department only got after them after the storms of 2019, when they came down to see all the destruction along the beach. But they didn't. Haldeman had given written warnings and verbal warnings to the park on a number of occasions. I'm not sure exactly how many, and previously. And for a minimum of 2 years before 2019, it could have been more, but that I don't know for sure. But anyway, here you are in your summer bliss. You're installing patio stones, a big Rubbermaid storage shed. You've got your barbecue center built, and you've got your, what the heck, even your attic room. Let's throw on some extra space in the trailer. But of course, the most useful, the pearl in the whole thing is your waterfront deck. You don't give the building department any concern because you probably don't even know any better. Marvin Wasserman has never said anything to you because he doesn't care about the building department. He doesn't have an awful lot of love for building departments anyway. There's lots of problems with the development departments in Hamilton. So you just build whatever you want. So now you've had this deck for a number of years and enjoyed it, got the enjoyment out of it. And the fall storms of 2019 come along. And your big beautiful deck gets turned into splinters. So after the storms, there's one hell of a mess along the beach. And you're thinking, well, maybe the insurance will cover it. A lot of people checked that out, but found out, no, that wasn't the case. Maybe the park will help you out. And of course, found out that's not going to happen. And then the building department showed up and they put work orders on the decks and told you couldn't even stand on your deck. And you were reminded by them and even the park to some extent that your decks were illegal in the first place. Never should have actually happened. And like I say, the park already knew that. The park had been given some warnings by the building department in the past. So the Wassermans pull out all their equipment, get down there and scoop up all the mess along the beach. And in fact, one of the tenants of the park even commented on, I think it was Facebook, I'm not sure, I could be wrong, about what a wonderful job they had done cleaning up all the disaster and taking care of everybody, and it was so wonderful. And the bottom line is what they did is they took all your garbage that they'd allowed to be there for years and scooped it up into their private landfill at the back. And we can talk about the private landfill at another time. But all of a sudden they're the heroes for cleaning up the mess. The same heroes that should have warned you that wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place. But they never did. It was because of Haldeman coming by that the new rules came into effect for 2020 season, about the size of your deck and how high it could be and the size of the storage shed that you could have and not having patio stones and so forth. That all came into effect because Haldeman came down and said, people are building left, right, and center, and you're not supposed to be doing that. So at that point, you know, in this scenario, you've been at the park a long time, you've lost your deck, you've now found out that you can't rebuild your deck overhanging the beach the way it was for years. That's not going to happen. Having the elevated deck, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get permission to do that. You can't do it. The park even alluded to helping you get permission to do it, but they knew full well they couldn't, because you can't get permission from the building department without permission from sorry, lost it all of a sudden, having a senior moment there, from the Conservation Authority at Long Point, and they're not going to give it. So you're disappointed, for sure, but like you say, you got years of use out of it, so you're okay with it. You know, you'll live with it. My next scenario, though, is what about the folks who bought, like my friend, like the lady further down the beach who spent even more money. I think she spent about $80,000 on her place in 2019. They bought it in 2019. Or the people who bought maybe in 2018 or 2017. What about those people who had just bought and who went out, and we'll take my friend's example where she spent 30 grand to buy the trailer that came with a barbecue, it came with outdoor furniture, it came with a big deck, it came with a storage shed, and it came with a dilapidated awning. It also came with a lot of promises, but that's not today's topic. She paid 30 grand for that. Now, the bottom line is that if you remove the deck, if you remove the oversized storage shed, then you're buying the trailer, which I don't remember the age of it now, but it had some years on it. I think it was 18 years old, but I could be wrong. You're buying this this trailer, some outdoor furniture, which is, you know, kind of okay, but it's nothing great, and a barbecue that's just kind of an average barbecue. So that has a real value of about maybe 12 grand. But when you put the whole thing together, when you put it all together as a package with the deck and everything else and charge 30 grand for it, it's all set up and ready to go, just turn the key and enjoy, that's a justified price, especially when you're buying it and you think that it's all legit. But then you find out just literally months later, these storms come along and blow your deck off into the lake. Like I say, turn it into splinters. And that's just too effing bad for you, because it was illegal to begin with. And like I say, don't complain. You don't want to be labeled a complainer. Well, frick that bullshit. The park, Marlene Allen, just sold you that whole $30K setup. Trailer, deck, so on and so forth. Beachfront Paradise. She just sold you all that. There's no way the asking price would have been $30K if there was just no deck there. If there was one patio stone, one illegal patio stone at the door to the trailer, it would have been a whole different ballgame on what the pricing should be. But instead, the park, acting as an agent for the owner, sold her the whole getup for that 30 grand. She sold the lady further down the beach that whole getup for some 80 grand because hers came with some jet skis and a few other things. Even though the vast majority of what was being sold wasn't even legal. And then remember too, when I'm saying that the park acted as the owner's agent, they took a percentage of the sale as a commission. And you said, well, yeah, well, that's normal. Yeah, but they took a percentage to sell something that they actually knew was not even legal. And they knew it wasn't legal because Haldeman had already gotten in touch with them and told them that these decks and other constructions on the property were not put there with permits and were not legal. So again, I'm saying the same thing, you know, just do the right thing. Knights Beach Resort. Edward Wasserman, you're the president. David, you're his father. I don't know what your position is, owner. You did wrong by my friend. You sold her something that you should not have sold to her. Your general manager made promises to her that were not kept. And basically all you did was evict her from the park. Do the right thing. Give her a refund. So, listen everybody, we're coming up to the holiday season. Hope everybody has a good holiday and a safe holiday. Of course, we've got this new COVID variant, so everybody still needs to be careful. But have a great holiday.